of Fame driver John Campbell has dominated harness racing like no other, with over $240 million in purse earnings. He's won 7 editions of the Meadowlands Pace, 6 Hambletonians, and a record 16 driving titles at the Meadowlands racetrack alone. Campbell is the ultimate professional and shares his thoughts on how to prepare, how to succeed, and how to excel in the sulky.
When I prepare for a race, I prepare much like the people that bet on it. My main source of information is the program. I study the program and the horses and the drivers and which horses they're driving and which tendencies that they have and how the drivers are most apt to race that horse, and come up with a plan much like the bettor when he's looking at the program. He's trying to figure out who's going to go for the lead and come from behind, and that has something to do with my strategy as well. Certainly getting information from the trainer on how the horse has been during the week, and if it's a horse that I have never driven before, he's going to give me information on how he races best and how he thinks he can perform at an optimum level. But the main source of information is a program, and I think program never lies. When I'm scoring down, I always check the tote board just to see what the public likes. I've always found the public to be a great handicapper. Many times, there'll be horses that I don't think have as good a chance as what the public does, and a lot of times the public is right. I just think it's another tool for me for information to plan a strategy. Sometimes I think a horse that I thought was going to be a factor in the race will be 20 to 1, and that certainly plays into my thinking as the strategy develops in a race, because I believe the public is a very good handicapper of the horses in a particular race. My strategy in every race that I drive is having a horse in position at the head of the stretch without using him too much, that he can deliver a strong last quarter to me. And that's really the essence of driving, putting that horse in position. It might be racing him on the lead, it might be racing him from far back or the middle of the pack, but having him in a position where if he gives me the last quarter that I expect from him, that he will have a chance to win that race. And that's the strategy of most drivers. So it's a cat and mouse game, trying to put your horse in that position, put your opposition in a position where they don't want to be. But horses are much like an elastic when you're going a mile. You can stretch them so much, but if you use them too hard before that 3/4 pole, they're going to tire, much like an elastic. If you put too much pressure on it, it's going to break. Whipping a horse is something that certainly the whip is overused. I really believe that. Not too many horses go away when you hit them hard with the whip, but it's certainly a tool that we have to have. The betting public in North America is used to seeing drivers whip their horses, and they expect them to. So that's something that we have to be cognizant of from the public standpoint. But if you can make noise, hit the saddle pad, and more or less trick them and scare them with the whip, you're going to be farther ahead than you are actually hitting them hard or stinging them with the whip. Most horses, as I said, will actually slow down if you hit them too hard, and especially horses that have raced for a number of years. They're just too smart, and they resent the whip. When people see drivers leaning back, they assume that we're holding them back, and that's not the case. The way the sulkies of today are set up, that's the way you're most comfortable. That's the way you can make the most speed. And I always tell people, if you think a guy is leaning back, you're wrong, because if it was true, the judges would certainly be on you and you'd be suspended in no time. And the other part is we race with our handholds much farther back than we used to years ago. And if you're going to rate them, you have to lean back in the sulky. You just can't let them go as fast as they want from gate to finish. They'll burn out at least by the 3/4, if not sooner. So, rating them and with their handholds back where they are, it appears that we're holding them back, but we're not. And many times when you're leaning them back like that, you're trying to get out of the wind, you're trying to keep the bit in their mouth, and you're trying to get them to go faster. And it's not the public's perception, but that's the way it is. I've always found driving to run in cycles. When you're going well, everything comes easy, you make all the right decisions, and even if you make a bad decision in a race, it'll turn out well. And the opposite is true when things aren't going well. You just don't make the right moves, and even if they look right on paper and they look right at the time, they don't work out. And it just runs like that for your confidence. It's certainly a game of confidence. Even though the horse is doing the work, you're guiding them and making decisions and putting those horses in position. And if your confidence isn't where it should be, you're apprehensive and those moves just don't work out.